Now, some more puzzles to show, but where are my glasses, my spectacles? Oh, here they are. Oh, and it's sitting on one of my puzzles too. There's Perspex. Yes, this came out sometime in the mid-1990s, I think it was. Bizarre little thing. It's a puzzle as well. You put it on your desk to keep your specs, but these little balls have to be somehow manipulated through all these little bits of cord, so that they're on the same bit of cord and touching each other. And it's quite tricky to do. I've never done that myself. So what a bizarre piece of artwork though, isn't it? Totally bizarre. A much more attractive bit of plastic, I think, is this one next door, which is a very, very elegant polar bear. And it disassembles. The first piece comes out of here, that's easy enough, but then you've got to take the whole thing apart. It's a very tactile puzzle, this, and I've done it several times because it's heavy and it's very, very, very made of some, I don't know what the plastic is, but it's a lovely warm feeling to it, and it's an enjoyable puzzle. That I can do it again. There's a couple of edible puzzles. Well, one's not really intended to be edible, but it is. This was one I made out at a puzzle convention where I went to a Blackpool company that made sticks of rock, and you can customise it yourself. They called it a quarter boiling, half boiling, about 300 sticks. But instead of having something like From Tim on it, it had a little puzzle, 77, 49, 36, 18, question mark. You had to work out what the next one was. Well, while you're working on that, you could be nibbling it and chewing it and enjoying it at the same time. I wouldn't do that now. It's about 20 years old. Oh, never mind. And Steve Harvey, a friend of mine from New Zealand, came up with this extraordinary idea. This is the puzzle that I finally got in my collection. It's quite a good little disassembly puzzle. To get this off through those little loops is quite tricky. But would you believe, when he first gave this out at our puzzle convention, he made it of this material. This is spaghetti. Yes, it is, I'm afraid. And look what's happened. It broke almost immediately as soon as I got it. It's so brittle, so easy to break, so brittle. So I asked him to make me a one-up, which is now done, and I'm very pleased to say that I enjoy that puzzle. But the bit of spaghetti I couldn't use again. Well, at this time I came across probably the very first puzzle that was pneumatic. You had to blow through it in order to make it work. It's long since, unfortunately, seized up. There's a bit of rubber inside, I think it is, which after many years sulfurates and it's impossible to work. But you had to put it to your lips, blow or suck very hard, and this central little plastic, this little brass pin would come out. And it was a tricky thing to do, but it worked very well when I first had it. It wouldn't last long, that's the trouble. But there have been a few since then, and it's a fairly rare phenomenon to have a pneumatic one which you have to suck or blow. One of the best puzzles that came out from this mid-1990s was this one here, this is the original version that came out of Sao Paulo. The story was that this, which is now called the Twins, was discovered at a garage manufacturing plant somewhere in Sao Paulo in South America. And the pieces had got themselves tangled together. I don't know what they used this for in some sort of heavy metal clip for part of the car engine, but they got tangled together, and the guy who saw it said, hang on, there's a good puzzle here. So they began, and they've been known as the Twins puzzle ever since. And there have been versions which I've come across where you put three together. It's probably one of the iconic all-time good metal assembly puzzles that's come out of this last century, I think. Mid-90s it first appeared, the Sao Paulo puzzle, and now known as the Twins. I like puzzles that give you a little surprise, and this one here is a little matching puzzle. The idea is you open the package and the pieces pop out. Fun, isn't it? Well, the idea is to get some matching with these colours all exactly matching, which they're not at the moment, but the idea is to get some matching there or vertically on a stack like that. And at the end of the game, when you've finished playing with it and solving the puzzles, you can pack it all flat like that and put it away, and that to my mind is a very, very good plus point. I like puzzles that you can pack away and make small. I think my favourite one from the 1990s was this one here, which Bill Ritchie's company Binary Arts, now Think Fun, made. And this is a very old puzzle which a friend of his and the family invented in the 1970s, I think. It's called Spin Out, and you had to try and remove this piece completely from the slide. To do this, you had to turn these pieces and turn them back and then move back and forward. It was binary, so roughly it made, you got 1, 2, 4, about 70 moves to get the whole thing apart. Now, some 20 years after this was being marketed, a little shortcut was discovered, which someone just entirely by accident came down what they call the longest dead end and did these extraordinary manoeuvres, which I don't think anyone's ever published. You do an action like that, you do an action like that, you turn that piece like that, now you push the thing back, and now you can do an extraordinary simple movement just to take the whole thing out. That comes out and that comes out. That was amazing. Solved in half the number of moves. I asked Bill, who runs the company, whether his friend would have been mortified or interested or intrigued or amused. He said, oh, definitely intrigued and amused. He'd be most interested that they had this little fault. And another version, which is the pirate version, can be done in a quarter of the moves, because you've got to that point there where you're only a quarter of the way through the puzzle and you can solve it. So a shortcut puzzle to the binary arts or the think fun spin out was a wonderful discovery, and I've shown it to many people since then. And then the Japanese always come up with wonderful puzzles, and here's two to finish up with. This one was really a precursor to all the Hanayama cast puzzles. I didn't think this was cast itself, but it certainly came in that early series. The idea was to try and move this ring through all the little narrow bits of the bicycle and eventually take it off. It's quite intricate and quite a tricky puzzle to do, but I like it because of its history, the fact that the very first catalogue of Hanayama ones always shows this at the very beginning of it. And the final one, of course, is another one by Toyo Glass, where you've got little bits of plastic shaped like half a glass of whiskey, I suppose, but with a little iceberg in the middle. And so the idea is to try and put these pieces back again, and it's a very tricky thing to do because they're all very, very strangely shaped. There's no straight lines anywhere. You are aware there's a flatness at the top, which you've got to end up with, and after that, well, you're going to be in trouble. So we're going to have to work on this for some time, I think. I think this is making me a bit thirsty. Don't think we're going to get very far with this now. Time for a drink, I think. Don't you think?